get that window. It's usually like, do it today or it's gone, or it's raining.
Wish we could have that every.
Especially in the spring, that's uncommon. Okay, it looks like it's 6 o'clock. I would like to call this meeting to order. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please have roll call when you're ready?
Scott Hansen. Here. Ben Terrell.
Here.
Lisa Lewitsky. Here. Ray Whitaker. Ed Kemp.
Here.
Tim Catron.
Here.
Zachary Dillinger.
Here.
Frank Holmes.
Here.
Brian Ross.
Here. Thank you. Have the proper notices been posted and sent?
They have.
Thank you. What are your wishes for the agenda this evening?
Move the agenda.
Okay. We don't have the parks on this, right? We have it taken off already?
That is correct. Eaton Township assumed their own planning and zoning authority at the end of May. Therefore, the Crandall Park change of conditions application was removed from our agenda.
That's what I thought, just checking. So we have a motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the June 2nd, 2026 agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. What are your wishes with the minutes from May 5th?
Move to approve the minutes.
We have a motion support. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is portion for public comments. If anyone would like to speak to the planning commission that doesn't have anything to do with the agenda this evening, now is one of the two times to do it. Okay, seeing none, if we could have the staff report on CU-3-24-1, please.
A request by Terry Smythe for a change of conditions of an existing conditional use permit which allows for the construction of a new two-story building to be used for the operation of a convenience store, gas station, and bar restaurant per the following sections of the zoning ordinance: 5.3.7G, general retail sales, 5.3.18R, restaurants, and 14.19, motor fuel service station at 8587 Narrow Lake Road, Section 28, Brookfield Township. Specifically, the requested change is to allow a larger structure to accommodate fire suppression tanks. The property is 0.89 acres. It is zoned local business. It is surrounded by limited agricultural zoning, low-density residential zoning, and industrial zoning. The land use is general retail sales and gas station, as is the site use history. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and industrial uses. The soil class is essential, surrounded by essential and non-essential. Narrow Lake Road is a major road. The applicant requests a change of conditions to their conditional use permit, which allows for the construction of a two-story building to be used as a convenience store, gas station, and bar restaurant. The applicant states no change to the operation of the business as approved in 2024. We need to add 10 feet to the south side of our proposed building to allow for the required room for our fire suppression tanks. The new proposed building size is a 40 by 82 building with an 8-foot by 48 covered porch and an 8-foot by 82 covered porch. Per the application, hours of operation are proposed to be 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. The applicant states there will be up to 5 employees on site between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 a.m. The applicant states the Narrow Lake Country Store currently uses a Type 2 well and connects to the Narrow Lake Sewer managed by Brookfield Township. With the proposed new construction, the drilling of the Type 3 well With the proposed new construction, we will be drilling a new Type 3 well to service the public and upgrading our sewer connection to allow for public restrooms. The overall parcel will be adding a new 3,500-gallon septic tank, dumpsters, white vinyl barrier fence along the southern residential boundary, and larger parking, 39 spots, with at least 2 EV charger pedestals. There are 2 existing driveways. They are paved and have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is between 20 and 60 vehicles per day. Parking is proposed for 39 vehicles. The parking area is lit and paved. Supplies are brought to the site by light delivery trucks. The applicant states this request should be granted because the new construction at Narrow Lake will comply with the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. Our collaborative strategy and our contracted architect and environmental engineer will not be detrimental to the economic environment welfare to Narrow Lake, Brookfield Township, Eaton County, and the greater Lansing area. Specific attention will be given to stormwater design, public street access, fire suppression, ADA compliance, law enforcement support, and cooperation. The traffic generated by this expanding venue will not adversely impact drivers on Narrow Lake Road or Luella Lane. All ingress and egress routes will be arranged in fluid ecosystem outlined on our site plan. The new construction will meet modern codes for sanitation, drinkable water, stormwater, solid waste disposal, integration with the Narrow Lake sewer system. On April 6, 2021, Brookfield Township approved the use of the old Narrow Lake Ballroom Class C liquor license for the Narrow Lake Saloon. Not only will this project be harmonious with the existing Narrow Lake community, but it will resonate the nostalgia of the great Narrow Lake Ballroom, whom many in our community fondly remember. The application was sent out for site plan review. The Eaton County Road Commission commented, "I've reviewed the above-mentioned site plan review application and find no impact to Eaton County roads. I have no objection to the site plan. I would like to mention I received a concern from a resident on Luella Lane about the store having access to Luella Lane and who is responsible for the maintenance on that section. Luella Lane is not a public road, so the Road Commission has no jurisdiction to make that determination, but I wanted to provide notice of that question and potential use." The Charlotte Fire Department commented, the Barry Eaton District Health Department approved with no comment. The Charlotte Fire Department commented, on January 31st of 2024, Charlotte Fire Department provided correspondence indicating no objections to the site plan submitted by Mr. Terry Smythe for a proposed restaurant and fuel station located at 8587 Narrow Lake Road in Springport, Michigan. Additionally, on November 12th of 2025, our department reviewed a change of use rezoning application for Mr. Smythe. Following that review, we provided a letter to Eaton County Zoning indicating no concerns with the proposed application. On April 14th of 2026, our department received communication from Eaton County Zoning advising that Mr. Smythe has submitted a revised site plan. As the previous site plan is no longer being pursued, the Charlotte Fire Department has reviewed the updated site plan and has no objections at this time as presented. This review is limited to the site layout. All construction plans will be required to be submitted and approved by the Charlotte Fire Department prior to issuance of any building permits for this project. Brookfield Township commented, "We approve the change of conditions with the recommendations as follows. Hours of operation on weeknights are highly recommended 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., closed by 10. Closed by 10 Sundays, and then it says Sundays through Thursdays. I think that was an incomplete sentence. They already have been given their Class C liquor license with no hour limitations. Noise, setting a reasonable decibel limit for both inside and outside to certain parameters of the building, given the preliminary design as a second-story porch on both back of the building towards the lake and residential area and front towards the road and residential area. Terry Smythe stated garage doors and porches are part of the design intended for use during warm weather. Stormwater retention has already been an issue and causing erosion across neighboring properties, so concerns and questions about where and how the water is being contained. Terry and Patrick were asked how the water retention was being handled, and they responded they didn't know yet. This is concerning because the new site plan says water filtration system on the drawing. Perimeter fence being installed. The height of the fence with the building design of 2 stories should be higher than 6 feet at least the portion of the fence closest to the building, south and northeast side closest to the residential homes. Given that Eaton County Planning and Zoning approved a variance to remove the required berms, which would have raised the height of the fence and helped contain the water runoff, we are recommending a 10-foot permanent fence. A chain link site dust blocking construction fence should be in place before construction begins. Signage at the cost of Narrow Lake Country Store, no stopping, standing, or parking signage on Luella Lane and Narrow Lake Road. 1-year prohibition of no change of conditions to the conditional use permit and goes into effect when the building permit is issued. Old store must be closed immediately upon opening of the new business and be demolished. Removed and land recovered to operating state. Curbing and paving completed within 60 days of opening. The township recognizes the easement that has been in place for more than 55 years, as far back as when the Narrow Lake store was owned and operated by Samuel and Dorothy McHaney family. 20 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. Included in the staff report are the definitions for general retail sales establishment, a restaurant, and motor fuel service station. Staff comments: a general retail sales establishment is a use by right. A restaurant without a drive-through service is a use by site plan review, and a motor fuel service station, gas station only, is a use by conditional use permit in a local business C1 zoning district. While the application is not changing the location of the existing gas pumps, a conditional use permit is required due to the new proposed building that will be used for the operation of the gas station. The applicant was not required to apply for site plan review for the proposed restaurant because it is included in this application. On May 7th of 2002, the Eaton County Planning Commission approved a conditional use permit CU 214 for the previous owners, Mr. Kevin and Ms. Juanita Thornton, to operate a motor fuel service station from this property. In addition, on August 28th of 2001, the Eaton County Board of Appeals approved a variance request for the location of the now existing gas pumps on the property. On September 6th, 2022, the Eaton County Board of Appeals approved a variance request from zoning ordinance section 7.5C, site area bulk requirements for the C1, C2 district. Specifically, the applicant was approved to install a fence only on the southeast and northeast property lines as shown on the proposed site plan. Landscaping is not required to be installed. On March 5th of 2024, the Eaton County Planning Commission approved the current conditional use permit with the requirement that the business applicant is compliant with the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office and Barre Eaton District Health Department. The Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office requires a stormwater retention area. The Barre Eaton District Health Department requires a stormwater retention area to be located a distance away from the well. At the time of the original approval, the main building was proposed to be 40 by 72. After working with the engineers to obtain construction drawings for the building, it was determined the building needs to be 40 by 82. The additional 10 feet of building space is needed to house the required fire suppression tanks. Staff has reviewed the site plan against the standards listed in 8.4.3. Staff finds the site plan complete as presented. The Planning Commission may use sections 9.3.6, 5.3.7G, 5.3.18R, and 14.9T included in the staff report to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, additional conditions may be required. I did receive a phone call from a neighboring property owner today requesting the parking requirements specifically listed in the zoning ordinance. And that neighboring property owner did point out that the entire enclosed area of a building, as measured from the exterior walls, is required to be calculated. That would require 2 more parking spaces for a total of 41 parking spaces. What has not been considered in the past but has been part of all of the previous approvals are the 2 parking spaces on either side of the gas pumps. So staff would find that they comply with the 41 parking space requirement. And that completes the staff report.
Are there any questions of staff? Sure.
So Brookfield Township references a easement that has been in place for 55 years. What is that referring to?
That is not a land use decision, nor something that the Planning Commission can make a recommendation on. That's considered a civil matter, not land use related in any way, shape, or form.
Are there any other questions of staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and if there's anything you'd like to add or address in the staff report.
No, I have nothing to add or address at this time.
Does any of the planning commission have any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. Is there anyone at this time that would like to speak in opposition to the application? We will be timing, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. We will be timing it, 3-minute time frame to talk.
Perfect, thank you. My name is Jeannie Anthony. I recently inherited 3009 Luella Lane, which butts up against Terry's Country Store. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today regarding this request to change condition of this project. After the unexpected death of my aunt in November and the trustee in December, I've inherited the property. Obviously, a lot of concerns have been raised because I was not aware of any of this building permits, anything going on since I inherited the property. So my first concern is the change of condition. There's still a lot of unknowns about this property. The second one I'll address is the easement. So that property, that easement has been maintained by my family for over 50 years. We are currently in a legal situation because the back lane has been part of my family's property. So I have concerns about any additional things being addressed in regards to this building permit and the store, considering I'm in an active lawsuit with Terry. My big concerns, which have been addressed before, but I have big issues with the water retention that's happening on the property. We already do have a lot of water issues out, not only on my property, but goes down the Luella Lane as well. So I just don't feel like I've read meeting notes from the township. I've read meeting notes from the board. I've met with Brandy, met with several of the Brookfield Township, and I just don't think that's really been established for us to continue making changes to address the concerns over several years of him trying to get this project settled. It's unfortunate that my aunt passed away and now we're having to deal with me, but it is my property. And like I said, the easement has been in existence for a very long time, and I have a lot of documentation for that as well. The other thing I did do to the easement is I did reach out to the Charlotte Fire Department chief, asked him to go out there because they have used back access lane for fires that have happened in the last couple of years. So he did write a letter. Didn't know if I was supposed to submit any of this, so I apologize. Just saying that it is to be continued as an emergency access lane. But of course, as Brandy stated, this is a civil matter. So it is really between Mr. Smith and myself with that. But I do have a letter from the fire chief that just expresses that obviously we never know when a fire is going to happen. And this lane does help protect the other properties, just not mine that sit out there. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition? If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Kurt McHenry. I own the property just south of the Country Store, 3002 Luella Lane. I got two zoning issues that I think are possibly infraction with the zoning code. The one is the water. When I look at the site drawing that was provided, this was not provided to the meeting that was held at the Brookfield Township. I had to retrieve this myself. So Brookfield Township, when they approved it, didn't have this drawing, nor did the people that visited that meeting. Anyways, when you look at it, it doesn't have curbing all the way around it. It sounds like the drain commissioner wants all the water to stay on, and that would be according to the 10.5.6 stormwater drainage, staying all on property. So without a proper curbing all the way around it, it shows bumper stops along Luella Lane. That will let water run through. The back corner of it, you can see the curbing stops. So it appears like about a third of the property has curbing onto it. Otherwise, the surface water is still going to run off. So that's a concern that it doesn't follow 10.5.6 stormwater drainage, keeping all water on the property. The other one is the challenge of, and I heard that Randy said that there's 2 more spots that they could apply for 41, but I believe that it's 43. And that all has to do with the way you calculate that, and it's spelled out in 10.4, that's off-street park space. The bar restaurant has to have 1 spot for every 3 persons, which is 88. That comes to 29 parking spots. The store is by square footage. The actual square footage on the main floor is 3,280. When you divide that by 300, it comes up to 11 parking spaces. Then the 5 employees, it's 1 parking spot for every 2 employees. The 5 is the minimum, which is 3 spots. Okay, you add that together, it comes up to 43. On a busy day, this is all supposed to be calculated on the max capacity. So I give you the max capacity on 88 people at 29, the square footage at 11, but that staffing can go higher, and they haven't specified it. Like many things in this, there's a lot of unknowns. They're testing the waters all the time. So those are the issues that I don't believe that they're complying because they don't have enough. Like I said, I give you the reasons why on the general. The last thing I just got to say is, you know, this has been going on for over 3 years, okay? There's been over 10 public meetings, and there still isn't a final drawing on a plan on this. They just keep testing the waters. I don't know how much longer this is gonna take because it's still not defined on the storage tanks. So, again, you got any questions for me? Those are the issues I had, that they're not meeting the zoning codes, and I give you the code numbers.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, does the applicant wish to rebut any of those? Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners then.
To add clarity, a building permit cannot be issued for this building without a permit from the Barry Eaton District Health Department for the well system. The Barry Eaton District Health Department will not issue the permit for the well system until their engineer receives approval from the Drain Commissioner's office on how they're handling the water. That site plan that the Planning Commission has does show some sort of underwater filtration system. Their engineer is working with the Drain Commissioner's office. The Drain Commissioner's office hasn't signed off on that yet. And Brookfield Township did receive the application in its entirety. Eaton County has a new secure program the email goes through to ensure that we are compliant with lien. It's called ZIX. So when certain applications go out, depending on the information in there, whoever receives it has to put in a username and a password in order to open up the document, and that didn't occur.
Okay, what are your thoughts? I guess I'll start. I know that a couple of the people, and at least one of the person dissent, said this has been taking a long time to happen, and said that is a bad thing, that things were changing. But I believe that a lot of the stuff is changing because of the requirements from us and from the Drain Commissioner and stuff. So I don't know that, I believe that that isn't necessarily a negative, that I think it shows that they're trying to do the stuff that we want.
I agree. I can go next. I agree with that statement. And I thought that, you know, when the township submits comments, that has a lot of weight for me. They submitted some pretty specific conditions. I didn't hear any objection to those conditions, so I'm inclined to adopt the majority of those. So I think, you know, the weeknights condition makes a lot of sense to me. The noise piece is problematic, but I think maybe that's implicit in the hours of operation piece. We don't have really the authority or ordinance to enforce a decibel level. Stormwater retention was addressed by staff. It's being negotiated with the Drain Commissioner. I didn't hear any objections to the perimeter fencing. There's some very specific perimeter fencing pieces here. Signage, I didn't hear an objection. I know we've talked a lot about Llewellyn Lane in the past and these approvals, so sounds like it continues to be an issue, but signage on that lane, I know has been, I believe that was a condition the last time too, so if I'm not mistaken, but maybe I am. That there was a condition on it last time we approved this.
Correct. It was with the approval of the road commission that at the cost of the applicant. So in this case, Noella Lane is a private road, so they would have to get, I would assume, the permission of the adjacent property owners that own adjacent to that right-of-way, and then the Eaton County Road Commission, but then the no parking signs would be at their cost.
So that's a little muddy, right? Because then we can't potentially make that a condition if they don't have the right to just do that.
You can make it a condition that with the approval. So if the neighboring property owner to the right-of-way of Luella Lane doesn't give them permission, then they can't put that sign up.
Okay. And then, yeah, I guess the only concern I have,
You said something about the fence, and I probably didn't hear it. Did you say you were inclined to do the taller fence that the township requested? Is that what you
I
said?
guess I'm inclined to that. I didn't hear an objection, so. I'm just, I invite the other input of the others, I guess, just to round these out. I don't have an issue with the closing time. I think the prohibition on changes conditions, I guess, just from a principal perspective, I have an issue with generally, but I guess that's a little bit of a unique situation, but generally, I mean, a prohibition on conditions can, if we see an issue that raises itself, like has happened in this case, then you prohibit the applicant from coming back and to correct an issue that maybe we found through some of these conversations. So that's the only piece from the township that I'm hesitant on. But I definitely open to conversations on the fence, but I respect the township's input and conversations that happen there.
I just wanted a clarification there. I wasn't trying to yay or.
Also, to add a little bit of clarity, if I can, the existing building is required to be demolished within 30 days of the new building being built. That is going to be a condition of the actual building permit, and they can't open without the curb and gutter. Brookfield Township is giving them 60 days to be compliant with that. They have to actually have it paved and have all of their curb and gutter in. So I heard you say that you're inclined to go with the 10-foot fencing, the 1 year prohibition on no change of conditions that goes into effect when the building permit is issued. The hours of operation Sunday through Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., with the building being closed by 10 p.m. And I think those are the ones that you just addressed. Am I correct, Ben?
So I'm not in favor of the prohibition on change of conditions.
You're not in favor of that. Okay, thank you.
The others, the hours of operation, the stormwater retention, I'm good for losing that. I think when we require things that other entities are responsible for, it confuses folks. So I'm good with removing that one and the demolition timeframe.
And the signage at the cost with the permission of. Got it.
Which to my understanding is currently a condition, so it would not void any of the conditions from the previous.
Correct. He is currently required to put up no parking signs.
So that's a little duplicative too, but I'm fine with including it again.
The hours of operation, what are they now for the store? Do you know?
7 a.m. to 2 a.m. with employees leaving by 3 a.m. And it's 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. with employees leaving by 3 a.m.
That's what it currently is now.
Correct.
Ben, was that a motion?
It wasn't yet, but if there's not additional conversation, I'm willing to make that. All right, I'll move CU 324-1 with the conditions of the change in hours of operation from 7 to 9 p.m. on weekdays. The perimeter fence be installed to a height of 10 feet and a chain link with sight dust blocking construction fence should be be in place before construction begins. Signage to the cost of the country store to along Luella Lane with the approval, the necessary permissions. 1 year, and then That's it.
Support.
Clarification, you said during the weekdays, Brookfield Township was specifically requesting Sundays through Thursday.
So I read it differently. I guess it says on weeknights, we recommend 7 to 9 PM.
Yep, and then they go on to say Sundays through Thursday.
I don't know what to make of that sentence. I mean,
Okay, perfect.
so it says Sundays through Thursdays, and there's nothing there, but Sundays through Thursdays, do you think that's what they mean by weekdays?
Yes, I do believe that that's what they're meaning by weekdays.
Okay. Okay.
And then you mentioned the signing on Luella Lane, but they were also requesting on Narrow Lake Road.
And Narrow Lake Road for the purpose of the motion.
So we had a motion, was there a second? We have a second. My only thing with that is the operation. And they're open now longer than that. Any thoughts about maybe making the restaurant those hours and keeping their hours for the gas station party store longer to what they currently do?
I personally like staying with the township's recommendation just because of the location of the place. There's a lot of houses around it, a lot of people probably going to bed, and it'd be nice to keep the noise down.
I disagree with that. It's a party store, it's been there. I don't see any reason to start closing early just because they're getting a restaurant. I agree with the restaurant, maybe slowing down a little bit.
I mean, I can see that for the restaurant. I mean, that would keep traffic down, and I don't think they're gonna get that much late night, but I would hate to decrease their business when I think if anything, it's gonna be better for the surrounding neighbors the way with the station, I think there's gonna be more buffering, fencing and stuff to make it more updated, maybe. I don't wanna say better, but more updated and stuff.
I agree. I think that's a good point.
Randy, have we ever received any complaints on the hours of operation?
Not for the retail space or the gas station.
So
Anyone else want to chirp in on that or any other? Sure, Lisa.
I think having, I don't go out that way a lot, but I don't think there's many other gas stations in the area. And if they've been operating on longer hours and you're driving there thinking you're gonna, at, 1 in the morning, get a tank up, and find out they're closed now, that's gonna be a problem for people. Living out in the country, I get it. There's not a lot of gas stations around to begin with. So I think having the longer hours on the gas station, especially since it's already working on those longer hours, would be helpful. But, curtailing the restaurant, which is something fairly new, relatively speaking, I don't see a problem with that.
Frank, you got any thoughts?
Not really on that. One thing I wondered, you mentioned, did I hear 30 days they demolish on this? It says 60 days. Was that something that?
The township was requesting that they be given 60 days for the demolishing of the building and to install their curb and gutter in their parking lot. They're going to be required to demolish that building within 30 days of receiving their certificate of occupancy for the new building. They won't receive their certificate of occupancy for the new building until their curb and gutter is installed. So they will be required to comply with the site plan that is in front of the Planning Commission in its entirety.
So we're tighter than what the township is asking.
Yes.
So we'd have to actually loosen up our restrictions.
The demolishing of the building would not be something that the Planning Commission can loosen up because that's for the building code. So,
We just don't wanna, we can't put in a new restriction because the requested restriction is already more allowable, more kind than the building permit.
Correct.
Anyone else have any comments? Scott?
I still have a concern maybe with the stormwater, even with the gutters and stuff, as far as retention holding, since we don't really have a firm information from the drain department concerning those waters of runoff that will be filtering out into neighboring property and everything too.
That's not ours though, right? That's the drain commission.
Right, and if the drain commission okays it,
But right now, it's only what, on hold for, till
No,
they get a
the
recommendation?
applicant is working with the Drain Commissioner's Office to get an approved plan. They cannot get a building permit without the Drain Commissioner's Office actual permit, the soil erosion sedimentation control permit, and whatever permit that they require for the installation of the water retention system. Without that permit from the Drain Commissioner's Office, they cannot request a building permit.
so we're covered, because the drain commission won't do it unless they're, I don't want to say appeased, like it doesn't matter, but unless they're confident of taking care of. There will no building permit be given.
I guess on the curbs and everything, will all the water be going to that holding area?
Currently on the site plan, there's an underwater filtration system. I don't believe that's been approved by the Drain Commissioner's Office. The applicant's engineer is actively working with the Drain Commissioner's Office. The water retention plan falls under the purview of the Drain Commissioner's Office.
So if the drain commissioner doesn't approve it, if his office doesn't approve it, they're not going to get a building permit.
That is correct.
I would definitely accept a friendly amendment on the adding the restaurant, or excluding the restaurant from the hours of operation piece. I'm sorry, excluding the party store and the gas station from the hours of operation piece.
So
Have it, what they asked for, or if you accept a friendly amendment, we'd leave the gas station and the convenience store 7 to 2, but make the restaurant hours what you
Yes,
made.
requested by the township.
So the gas station and convenience store hours would be 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. with employees leaving by 3 a.m. The restaurant hours, Sunday through Thursday, would be 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. with employees leaving by 10 p.m. And then they would go for Friday and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. with employees leaving at 3 a.m.
If we could have somebody make that friendly amendment if they want.
I'll make the friendly amendment.
And I'll support.
Are you okay with, who, it was you, okay, so, anybody else have any questions, concerns? Is everybody comfortable with the motion?
Am I able to object to that?
At this point in time, the planning commission is in public, or the closed portion of it, so, no. Any other questions, concerns? If not, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Scott Hansen,
No.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Carrie? I'm in and out all week, but if you'd like to give me a call on my cell phone, I can give you more clarity on what the extra conditions that were just placed on your approval are.
Okay. When you are ready, if we could have the staff report on CU-5-18-4, please.
A request by Todd and Erica Burton for a change of conditions to an existing conditional use permit which allows for the operation of a light automotive repair facility and distressed vehicle transporter per zoning ordinance section 14.24 and 14.37 at 5419 West St. Joe Highway, Section 9, Roxanne Township. Specifically, the requested changes to allow for construction of a building to be used for agricultural equipment repair per Section 14.1 of the zoning ordinance. The property is 10 acres in size. It is zoned limited agricultural and surrounded by the same. The land use is residential and agricultural, same as surrounding. The soils class is essential. West St. Joe Highway is not a major road. The applicants request the change of conditions for the existing conditional use permit, which allows for the operation of, not going to repeat myself, they state the existing light automotive repair business and tow truck service is used only for customers' vehicles. I began working on ag equipment in 2012. I would like to expand this portion of my business as there is a need in the community. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. The business has 1 employee for light automotive, 1 employee for distressed vehicle, and 2 for the agricultural business. Employees are on site during the hours of operation. The applicant currently uses a 2,000 square foot portion of an existing 44 by 48 pole building for the light automotive repair business. They state the existing 48 by 56 and 64 by 64 pole buildings are used for the agricultural equipment repair. They propose to construct a 60 by 120 by 20 building also to be used for the agricultural equipment repair business. An existing well and septic system is used for the business. The applicants have a contract with GFL for removal of oil and antifreeze from the property. Trash service is contracted with Jim's. Items stored on site include up to 16 vehicles located behind a fenced area and ag equipment. There are 3 existing driveways to the site. They state that they are not paved and do not have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 5 light automotive vehicles and 5 agricultural equipment repairs per day. Parking is proposed for 20 vehicles. The parking area is lit but not paved. Supplies are brought to the site by light delivery trucks and trailers. The applicant states they were notified of violation of the Eaton County zoning ordinance. They state, in the fall of 2025, while my building was under construction, I was notified of a violation for construction without a permit. I did not think I needed a building permit because my new building is going to be used to work on ag equipment. I also didn't think I needed to include this in my CUP. I have been working with Brandy to become compliant. The applicant state the request should be granted because, to my knowledge, my business has never received a complaint regarding the actual operation of the business. I tried very hard to keep my property neat and be a good neighbor to the surrounding property owners. I work on several of my neighboring property owners' equipment. The business has operated from my property since 2012. My business is crucial to Eaton County and Roxanne Township. This is our primary source of income. The application was sent out for site plan review. Barry Eaton District Health Department approved with no comment, and Roxanne Township approved with no comment. 5 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. Included in the staff report is zoning ordinance section 14.1, agricultural business. Section 14.37, light automotive, small engine repair, and automotive body shop, and section 14.24, distressed vehicle transporter. The property is master planned for agricultural preservations, which equates to the limited agricultural zoning district. Staff comments. Per the zoning ordinance, an agricultural business as regulated by section 14.1, a light automotive repair facility as regulated by 14.37 and 14.13, home business, and a distressed vehicle transporter as regulated by section 14.24 are uses permitted in a limited agricultural zone district with a conditional use permit. A complaint regarding the operation of the business or property has never been received. A complaint was received regarding the construction of a structure without permits. Ms. Brandy Miller notified the property owner of the violation for construction without permits. Mr. Burton thought he did not need a building permit because he'd be working on agricultural equipment. Ms. Miller informed Mr. Burton a building permit is required, as is the change of conditions application to include the additional business use. Mr. Burton is a licensed mechanic, and the facility where the light automotive repair business is operated from is a licensed motor vehicle repair facility through the Michigan Department of State. Per the application and site plan and other supporting documents, the applicants have met or state that they will meet all the requirements and conditions of Section 14.1, 14.37, 14.13, and 14.24, which are all included in the staff report. The Planning Commission may use those sections and Section 9.6.3 to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and add or state their case to us, please.
My name is Todd Burton. I am the owner and operator of Performance Diesel Engineering. We've been in business at that site since 2012. I'm a lifelong resident of Roxanne Township, born and raised here, never left, other than college. But so that being said, we provide a unique service for our customers in the community, and we are looking to expand that business here in Eaton County. So appreciate your guys' consideration, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Is there any questions for the applicant? Sure.
Is the pole barn you're building fully enclosed?
The new ag?
Yes, the new build.
Yes.
Yeah, fully enclosed, okay.
Correct. Yep.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? You could state your name and address for the record, please.
Darren Utze, 1827 North Angel Road. Know Todd well. He's a great guy. The work he performs on a lot of the stuff is good. I think he puts back in the community more good than what we realize. So I don't have much to say. I just wanted to say a few good words for Todd and thank you for what he does for the community.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
I would move that we approve CU-5-18-4.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
So Todd, you can now apply for your building permit. I need that done next week. You already have the drawings and everything, right?
Yeah.
I love that. If you need assistance, you can come into the office and we can assist you with uploading everything and getting it applied for. This week, we're super short-staffed. Thank you, sir.
Okay, when staff gets time, if we could have the staff report for CU-6-26-3.
A request by Ben and Carol Utze for a change of conditions of an existing conditional use permit to allow for the operation of an agricultural business, grain, feed, tool, and workwear sales per section 14.1 of the zoning ordinance at 1827 North Angel Road, section 6, Carmel Township. Specifically, the requested change is to move the location of the building and construction of a larger building than previously approved. The site is 118.05 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural and surrounded by limited agricultural zoning. The land use history is residential and agricultural, surrounded by the same. Soils class is essential. North Angel Road is not a major road. The applicants are requesting a change of conditions for the existing conditional use permit, which allows for the operation of an agricultural business to include the sale of grain and feed with tools and workwear. They are not proposing to change the operation of the business, rather they are requesting to construct a larger building in a different location as shown on the site plan. The new proposed building is a 60 by 120 and 60 by 100, total square foot of 13,200 square feet. They state the building will be used for sales, storage, and personal use. Hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No employees are planned at this time, but they may have up to 2 employees in the future. The applicant states there is a pond located on their property. The Tice drain is located in the southwest property line. The applicant states the existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property will be used. Customers will use the restroom located in the home. They state trash service is provided by Republic. The applicant states there is one existing driveway to the property. It is not paved and does not have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 10 vehicles per day. Parking is proposed for 20 vehicles. The parking area will not be lit or paved. Supplies will be brought to the site by 1 semi-truck per month. The applicant state they have an existing conditional use permit, 621-3, which allows for the operation of a home business. The applicant state this request should be granted because the proposed business is in line with our current dairy farm operations and support of other local farmers. It should not negatively impact the surrounding area. The application was sent out for site plan review. Eaton County building official commented, the proposed structure is required to be designed by a licensed design professional, architect, engineer. With proper permits and inspections, there are no objections to the approval of this request. Charlotte Fire Department commented, the Charlotte Fire Department has reviewed the proposed site plan application for Ben and Carol Yutzi. We do not have any concerns with the application or site plan provided. The Fire Department recommends approval of the site plan application. And Carmel Township sent a copy of their meeting minutes. Essentially, what is in the meeting minutes is that a motion to approve was made and failed. They did not actually make another motion, so a decision was not made on the application. 9 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No responses were received. Included in your staff report is zoning ordinance section 14.1, agricultural business. The property is master planned as agricultural preservation, which falls in line with the current zoning of the property of limited agricultural. Staff comments, an agricultural business is permitted in a limited ag zone district with a conditional use permit. The applications were approved for the operation of the business by the Planning Commission in September of 2025. Since approval, they have decided to move the location of their building and request a larger building that will allow for storage and personal use. The applicants have an existing conditional use permit, CU 621-3, that was approved by the Planning Commission in 2021. That allows for the operation of a manufactured laminated post business as a home business. A copy of the existing conditional use permit is included with the application. To date, we have not received any complaints regarding the operation of the business. The Planning Commission may use sections 9.3.6 and 14.1 included in the staff report to determine if the business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Okay, if the applicant would like to come forward, if there's anything they'd like to add or state.
I don't know that I have anything to add. I think Brandy explained it well. One thing I wasn't quite sure, you said the township did not approve it?
The township did not make a decision on your application. They made a motion to approve that failed,
Okay,
and then didn't make another motion, so a decision was not made by the township.
okay. Meaning we need to go back to the township?
No, sir.
No, okay, all right. The last time we were here, we approved, as she stated previously, with the previous building size. We moved the area where we had planned to build this 80 by 96 by 16 building. Due to the surrounding area, we wanted to keep that farm active. We felt by building this retail facility where we had planned initially, it would obstruct either the dairy facility or the retail facility. It was too close quarters, the proximity was too close. So therefore, we're requesting for a change of conditions, moving it farther south on the same property. And then by doing that, we had a little larger footprint that we could play with, more area. And then also adding building out the back for personal use as well. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Are there any questions of the applicant? Sure, Scott.
On the, you mentioned you're going to be selling feed there then?
That is correct, yes.
Is that already pre-bagged or are you mixing feed?
That is pre-bagged, correct.
Okay.
No mixing feed on site.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions of the applicant? Sure.
So for your agricultural retail space, are those two buildings that are just connected, or it's just kind of one large building?
They will be, it's like a T shape. They would be connected, correct.
But they're essentially one building? Okay,
That's how I would understand it, yes.
thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for what all you have done.
Is there anyone else that would like, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Susan Potter, 1076 West Broadway in Charlotte. I was at the Carmel Township meeting last week, and one of the people who voted no, I asked her afterwards why she'd voted no, and she said because she didn't have any idea what was going on. And after we had talked to her for a couple of minutes, she's like, oh yeah, that would be fine.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
I don't have any issues with this. I think it's similar. Just
Move CU 925-7.
support.
We have a motion support. Any other discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Matt Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Levitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Darren, how close are you to getting your sealed drawings done? Okay. You may, depending on how close you are, because planning and zoning is coming to an end on June 30th, you may need a zoning referral from Carmel Township. So if you can get with your engineer and get those drawings sooner, then we can take care of everything for you. If it's after June 30th, you will definitely need a zoning referral from Carmel Township before getting your building permit. Thank you.
Okay, when you have time, if we could have the staff report for CU-6-26-3, please.
A request by Dustin and Samantha Anderson for a conditional use permit to operate an agricultural business farm equipment repair per zoning ordinance section 14.1 from vacant property located off from South Ionia Road, identified as parcel 090-015-300-00108, section 15 of Calamo Township. The property is 5.5 acres. It is zone limited agricultural and surrounded with the same. The land use is vacant. It is surrounded by residential and agricultural uses. The site use history was agricultural, surrounded by residential and agricultural historical uses. The soils class is essential, surrounded by essential and non-essential. South Ionia Road is a major road. The applicants are requesting a conditional use permit to operate their farm equipment repair business as an agricultural business. They state, "We are moving our home and business from Georgia. We would like to work on farm equipment for local farmers, including but not limited to tractors, combines, skid steers, track hoes, etc. We intend to start the business in the attached garage shop that is on the home. We plan to have a future agricultural repair barn within the next 5 years. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday and Sunday availability for emergencies only or also by appointment. At this time, Only the applicant will be working. 2 to 3 employees may be hired in the future. Employees will be on-site during the hours of operation. The property is currently vacant. The applicants will be constructing their home with an attached 40 by 25, 1,000 square feet attached shop where the proposed business will be operated. Within the next 5 years, they propose to construct a 40 by 80, 3,200 square feet building to be used for the business. The applicant states they are actively working with the health department to obtain their permits to install their well, septic, and drain field. They state they will have a contract with a waste hauler once the home is constructed. They will also have a contract with Crystal Clean to dispose of any fuels. There are no existing driveways to the site. The applicants state they will be installing a new driveway. It will not be paved or have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 5 to 10 farm implements a week, up to 5 to 10 customers per week. Parking is proposed for 14 vehicles. The parking area will be lit but not paved. Supplies will be brought to the site by 1 semi-truck bi-weekly or monthly. Light delivery trucks and trailers. The applicants state the request should be granted because we do not believe our proposed business will have any detriment to the surrounding people or businesses. We are moving from Georgia to Michigan to move our business and home. Dustin's passion is working on farm equipment. He has 341 credit hours from Kubota University and roughly 200 to 250 class hours working on farm equipment over the course of 3 years. It sounds like a farm equipment repair shop is a needed asset to the community and area. We would love to support local farmers and have a positive impact on the farming community. The application was sent out for site plan review. The road commission commented. I've reviewed the above-mentioned CUP and have the following comment. The site will require a commercial driveway permit meeting the Eaton County Road Commission policy. I will need a detailed site plan for review prior to issuing any permits. The site plan shall show all work proposed within the public right-of-way, including dimensions, grading, surfacing, culverts, etc. The driveway location and dimensions shown on the CUP do not meet Eaton County Road Commission requirements for a commercial driveway. All trees and brush along the parcel frontage shall be removed from the public right-of-way. The proposed sign shown will not be permitted to be installed within the public right-of-way. Calamo Township approved without comment. 6 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.1 for agricultural businesses included in the staff report. The area is master planned for agricultural preservation, which is in line with the limited agricultural zoning of the property. Staff comments, an agricultural business is permitted in a limited ag zone district with conditional use permit. The business as proposed in the application and on the site plan complies with zoning ordinance section 14.1 agricultural business. In addition, it complies with the signage and parking requirements of the zoning ordinance. The applicants are actively working with the Barre Indian Health Department and Eaton County Road Commission to obtain permits as well. Side note, they were already given a residential driveway permit from the Eaton County Road Commission so that they could get the building permit for their home. Just in the previous application, we can't issue building permits unless we have health department approval, drain office approval, and driveway permits in place. So they will be able to build their home, and they are actively working with the road commission to get that required commercial driveway permit. The planning commission may use sections 9.3.6 and 14.1 included in the staff report to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff?
Do you know what the road right-of-way is for Ionia Road?
It's 33 feet from the center.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, is the applicant here? If you'd like to come up,
He
and
came all the way to Georgia to speak with you.
if there's anything you'd like to add or clarify from the staff report?
Dustin Anderson, born and raised Nashville, went to Maple Valley until 2015 when I graduated. I've been working with Matt with the Eaton County Road Commission. We have established a setbacks 50 foot from the south property line to the right side of the driveway on entry. There are no semi-trucks to enter or exit the property. Nobody's allowed to back in off the property, so I have added a T round, it's a T, so they pull in, back up, and then they have to pull out. Nobody's allowed to back out. That being said, We are 33 foot from the center of the road. We are required 20-foot radius, 20-foot entrance as well. I proposed to Matt to review after 5 years when we have to do the new building. He originally stated that we needed a 90-foot entrance. I thought that was too much, so I proposed a shorter 60-foot. And it sounds like he's going through with that. So I have submitted a drawing, and we are waiting review.
Staff have any, or excuse me, Planning Commission have any questions for the applicant? Sure, Scott.
Yes, are there any future plans for retail sales of used or new farm or equipment?
Not at this time.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? You could state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Michael Groves. I recently just bought the property north of Dustin. The reason I'm here today, I'm just concerned about the noise, the dust, and the just visual aspect of an ag implement business right next to my property. I'm planning on hopefully building a house there, and this property is 5-acre chunks all next to each other, and it is an old bean field, so it's very wide open. There's no trees, it's just wide. So I have a lot of visual looking at equipment, combines, and it's concerning I bought the property intending to be a residential, and now there's a business. Not against the business, just want some special conditions so I can still enjoy my piece of property. But those are my concerns. Thank you.
Any questions to speak? Okay, anyone else like to speak in opposition to the application? In a second, if there's no one else, all right. Did you want to rebut any of that? Is that?
No, I would like to add that we are doing a 25-foot green space of pine trees all the way around the property and up the right-hand side of the driveway as well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, could you have him come up to the microphone? The public can't hear him and he's not being recorded.
We are looking to add a 25-foot green space of pine trees all the way around the property. And I am not certified to work on combines, so there will be no combines on property or the big 3-wheel sprayers. So I will not be working on those. Thank you.
Yeah, on a site plan, he does have the pine trees. Do you have a time frame on the pine trees that you're planning on planting?
Once we fully move in and I can safely water them so they don't.
Can I just reiterate what he said for the record? He said, the applicant said that he would plant them as soon as he could move in and safely water them without them dying. Saves him the walk to the microphone.
Thank you, Zach. Okay, no more opposition, no more rebuttal. We'll close the public. Just in time, please come up to the podium, please, and state your name and address.
My name's Jerry Bukowski. I live at 1069 South Ionia Road, which is a corner of Carlisle and Ionia. And if I understood it correctly, he's going to have a lit parking lot, parking area, and I would question that because his hours of operation are during the day. And to this gentleman's point, we kind of like our peace and quiet at night, and I question the need to have an area lit, but that's my only comment.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Anybody ready?
Yep, I guess my concerns are only that, I know we don't have any jurisdiction over the driveway permit. I continue to be concerned about the over-application of commercial driveway permits for businesses that don't need anything similar to that. I think it's a little ironic, too, that the requirement to keep the brush clear and the road right-of-way, if that's a requirement we're going to hold the road commission to, then I'm in favor of that. But those are my only comments, I guess, to the speakers. The opposition, I guess I would just say that, this gentleman bought a parcel with hope to development. The folks opposed bought parcels with hopes to develop their parcels. So I guess that's a little bit of a confusing logic for me. I think this gentleman has every right to do this too. It's use permitted by right. He's got more than adequate screening, so I guess I don't have an issue with the application, so.
Make a motion to support CU-6-26-3.
Support.
We have a motion to approve and support CU-6-26-3. Is there any other discussion?
No, I would just like to go on record that Commissioner Whitaker made the motion to approve because it wasn't recorded.
I'm sorry. I make the motion to approve CU-26-3.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen?
Yes.
Ben Terrell?
Yes.
Lisa Lewitsky?
Yes.
Ray Whitaker?
Yes.
Ed Kemp?
Yes.
Tim Catron?
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger?
Yes.
Frank Holmes?
Yes.
Ryan Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson, you are approved. You're very welcome. You are submitting your building permit for your home within the next week, or have you already? I love that. Thank you.
Okay, when staff is ready, if we could have the staff report on CU-6-26-4, please.
Request by Safetyne Oil for a conditional use permit to operate a convenience store, gas station, and restaurant with a drive-through per the following sections of the zoning ordinance: 5.3.7G, general retail sales, 5.3.18R, restaurants, and 14.19, motor fuel service station from property located at 3334 South Cochran Road, Section 36 of Carmel Township. The property is 100 acres. The zoning of the property is dual zoned, limited agricultural and general business C2. It is important to note that the entire commercial operation will be on only the property that is zoned general business C2. Surrounding zoning is limited agricultural, low density residential, and local business C1. Land use, the current land use is residential and agricultural. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and commercial uses. The site use history is residential and agricultural. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and commercial uses. The soils class is essential and non-essential for both on-site and surrounding. Cochran Road is a major road. The applicants request a conditional use permit. They state, "We are currently in the process of purchasing the property specifically to construct a gas station with retail sales and a restaurant with drive-through. The property is currently 100-plus acres. While our site plan shows the proposed use on proposed 6.8-acre parcel, the end resulting parcel may need to be larger due to the location of stormwater retention ponds, wells, septic, and drain field. The existing property is dual zoned, limited ag and general business. It was zoned this way by an approved district change amendment application in 1986. The entire use will only be located on the property zoned general business and will be divided from the remainder of the property prior to construction. We do not have a plan for the remainder of the property at this time. Hours of operation are proposed for 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. 8 to 10 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. Structures to be constructed include a 65 by 100, 6,500 square foot building to be used for general retail sales and a restaurant with drive-through. A 114 by 48, 6,768 square foot canopy over the gas pumps an 81 by 24, 1,944 square foot canopy over the diesel pumps, and a 22 by 22, 484 square foot dumpster enclosure. The existing home located on the property will be demolished. The applicant states they will install the well, septic, and drain field in compliance with Berry Eaton District Health Department and Eagle requirements. They state the dumpster will be located in an enclosure and serviced by way of a contract through a waste hauler. There is currently one driveway to the site. The applicant state 2 proposed commercial driveways are proposed on the site plan. The proposed driveways will be compliant with MDOT requirements. Parking is proposed for 56 vehicles. The parking area will be lit and paved. Supplies will be brought to the site by semi-trucks and light delivery trucks. The applicant states this request should be granted because the portion of the property we are requesting to construct and operate from has been zoned general business since 1986. The current master plan shows the future zoning of the property to be general business. Our proposed use is in line with the current zoning of the property and the master plan. Our proposed use is needed in the area. It also allows for easy on-off access from I-69. Our proposed use has the potential to have a positive impact on the surrounding area and local businesses as well. We do not believe our proposed use will have a negative impact on any of the surrounding properties, as we will comply with all required agency and zoning ordinance requirements. The application was sent out for site plan review. MDOT commented, "Thank you for sending the site plan review for Safety Oil requesting to construct a gas station with a restaurant and general retail sales from property located at 3334 South Cochran Road. Please see the attached highlighted MDOT right-of-way map for this area. The red arrow points to where the limited access right-of-way ends along the I-69 ramp. No driveway would be allowed within the limited access right-of-way. The plans would need to be revised, moving the southern driveway out of the limited access right-of-way. The northern driveway is located within the taper of I-69 ramp and would not be allowed at this location, and would need to be further to the north of the influence of the taper for I-69 ramp. A traffic impact study would be required for this development. Please have the applicant submit a scope for the traffic impact study and proposed new driveway locations prior to proceeding with the study." Charlotte Fire Department commented, "We have reviewed the conditional use permit application for Safety Oil Company. We do not have any concerns related to the proposed site plan. The site plan meets all current fire and safety requirements. Construction drawings will need to be approved through our department before building permits can be obtained." Zoning ordinance section 5.3.7G, general retail sales, is included, as is section 5.3.18R for restaurant, and section 14.19 motor fuel service station, parking garage, and commercial garage. The entire 100-acre property is master planned for general business, which equates to the C2 zoning district. Staff comments. A general retail sales establishment is a use by right. A restaurant with a drive-through service is a use by site plan review, and a motor fuel service station, gas station only, is a use by conditional use permit in a general business C2 zoning district. The applicant was not required to apply for the site plan review for the proposed restaurant because it is included in this application. The applicants are working with MDOT to ensure all proposed driveways are located outside of the I-69 right-of-way. The Planning Commission may consider allowing for an adjustment of the final land associated with the use. This can be done by restricting the proposed use to only the property that is zoned General Business C2 and requiring that all resulting parcels comply with the requirements of the zoning ordinance. A new site plan would be required to be submitted to the zoning authority for review and approval prior to completion of the land division. Staff has reviewed the site plan against the standards listed in 8.4.3 and section 1419. Staff finds the site plan complete as presented and complies with the requirements of the zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission may use sections 9.3.6, 5.3.7G, 5.3.18R, and 14.19 included in this ordinance to determine if the business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. One quick second. 10 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. I did receive one comment in writing this morning. And Carmel Township, at their meeting made a motion to approve the application, and that motion passed. Dear Commissioners, it is deeply disappointing that Carmel Township officials and Eaton County Board of Commissioners are committed to degrading the quality of life in Carmel Township for the neighbors of 3334 South Cochran Road, Section 36, Carmel Township. While Safety Oil has indicated a plan to minimize its damaging impact and disruptions, I have doubts about its intentions to follow through. I believe its presence will create a significant negative impact to the air quality, water purity, noise level, traffic accidents, and neighborhood safety. It is especially disappointing that it will operate at 24 hours a day. In addition, a 10th gas station convenience store is redundant, and 75 jobs the project alleges it will create may be at the expense of other businesses in Charlotte. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, Teresa M. Brisnio. I hope I did not butcher that. And that completes my staff report.
Are there any questions for staff?
One.
I'm sorry.
Yes, on the master plan, does that, the site proposed fall within that master plan, or does it fall in behind the additional farmland?
The entire 100 acres is master planned as general business, C2. So it's master planned entirely as general business C2. The property is dual zoned. The proposed gas station use falls entirely on the existing general business C2 zoning area of the property. No part of this operation, not any of the drainage, not any of the well, septic, or drain field will go on to the limited agricultural zone portion of the property.
Have there been any other comments as far as from the Drain Commission or Eagle?
There haven't been any comments, but just like any other request, they will require the specific approval of the Drain Commissioner's Office, and due to the fact that this is a commercial business, the Barry Eaton District Health Department will consult with Eagle regarding the well, septic, and drain field.
Approximately how close will it be to the county drain that runs on that property for the brown drain?
That I do not have an answer for. It is not within the easement of the drain, which would be the scope of limitations when anytime anybody is building. You can't build within the easement of the drain, and you require a soil erosion sedimentation control permit to protect the drain while constructing.
Any other questions of staff? Sure.
Regarding that drain, would not the drain commissioner comment or have to approve if there was any impact on that drain?
Can you repeat that again?
Wouldn't the drain commissioner need to either comment or approve if there was an impact on that county drain?
Yes, this development would require a soil erosion sedimentation control permit from the drain office, and that's separate from any kind of drainage retention permit that would be needed due to the location of the drain on the property. As I said before, they can't build within the easement area of the drain, and they're nowhere near that easement area of the drain, but they will be required to protect that drain during construction.
Sure.
Is the stormwater going to be drained into a holding pond then?
The water retention will be handled by the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office. It will have to be an engineered water retention system approved by the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office prior to issuance of a building permit, no different than the Narrow Lake Country Store.
And then on the sewage reservoir, or whatever they're using for that, there won't really be a drain field for that, just a holding tank that is going to be cleaned at different times?
No, they'll be required to install a well, septic, and drain field.
With that being said, with the, I guess the health department is going to have submit a proposal for the drain field because that ground is like 20 to 25 foot clay, and it will require quite a large drain field, I would think.
Yep. The applicants will be required to apply for that well, septic, drain field permit, the permits to install from the Barry Eaton District Health Department. And again, they will not be able to get a building permit for the building unless they've received the approval of the Barry Eaton District Health Department. Due to the fact that this is a commercial property and business, it would not be uncommon for the Barry Eaton District Health Department to also consult with Eagle when reviewing any applications submitted for the well septic drain field.
And since it's going to be a 24/7 type thing, is there any limits as far as lighting on the property and noise control with semis coming in there?
We don't have a noise ordinance here in Eaton County. Noise ordinance are not regulated by our land use policy, so I can't speak to noise. Lighting, they're required to have lighting for safety. The Planning Commission can require dark sky lighting, which is lighting that goes on the property but doesn't have as much light pollution leaving the property.
There's a page in the back of the packet that shows all the lighting being downlighting. I don't know if that's what we're talking about. There's a page of the packet that shows the lighting, although pointing down is downlighting. I just noticed that in there.
Any other further questions of staff? Seeing none, if we could ask the applicant to come forward and state their case for us, please. And add anything or bring anything to light that Brandy missed.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name's John. I'm representative of Safedine Oil. Chad is engineering manager handling the project. He'll speak to some of the questions I think you guys brought up before.
The address, at least the mailing address that we contact you with.
Yeah, I gotta look at that because we just got a new one. It's, oh, I don't have it on here. I'll have to get the, is it on the report that we did? I can't remember. Because I have a new one. 75 East Long Lake Road, Bloomfield Hills. I think that's it. Because we just moved, I apologize. So we were in one location, Roseville, for 50 years, and we just moved.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, my name's Chad Holdwick with the Amalur Group. Our address is 49287 West Road, Wixom, Michigan. If I could, I would just like to address a couple of the discussion topics. One, we have collaborated with MDOT as part of an introduction of the site plan. To Brandy's point, they have notified us that we need to ensure that we're out of that limited access right of way. Currently, if you're familiar with the property, there is a residential driveway. That driveway is impeding in the limited access right of way. So you'll see driveway just north of there. MDOT informed us that at that time they approved that because it was just a residential home. But now, as part of updating the property, they would like us to maintain driveways out of there. So just for a reference to kind of give you an idea of where that drive would be located. As far as the drain, my understanding with the Drain Commissioner's Office and MDOT is that we may outlet to the Brown Drain, but to do so, we would have a detention that's in place and then also a restricted outlet. So we would monitor how that water is exiting the site. That way we don't impede or overwhelm that drain. So we will work with the Drain Commissioner's Office and MDOT to ensure that we satisfy their requirements. As far as well and septic, there was talk about the drain field. Our anticipation is that this would be an engineered field. It would also require pre-treatment. And there is a restaurant that's proposed where we would have a grease interceptor where that would be maintained and collected, so that does not impact the drain field. Make sure that stays in good working order. Last, there was lighting. That's correct. The lighting is proposed to be downward-facing, shielded lighting. So it will light the site properly in order to meet the foot candle requirements. But there is restrictions on what those foot candles are at the property lines. So that will be ensured that it does not exceed that tolerance. If there's any other questions, obviously we're here to field those.
Sure, Scott.
I guess I have a real concern about your drain possibly being hooked up to the Brown Drain because all that water flows down through several properties. And actually ends up down by my property. And a lot of my property that we once farmed, my father and I, is underwater and has turned into a swamp. And because the county, because of EPA, doesn't want to clean out the drain, they want to use it as a casual type drain system that seeps on its own rather than cleaning out the drain that was there originally 30 years ago or more. And so any pollution that you have from storm runoff is going to seep down to my area. And I just don't appreciate that. And the landowners around there probably don't appreciate it either.
I guess to answer that question, as part of the drain commissioner's requirements, we're required to pre-treat that stormwater before it enters the detention and then eventually it leaves the property. That would be done through a 4-bay settling pond or a mechanical treatment structure. Either one of those would be a valid option to meet that requirement and would be installed. And additionally, obviously you're familiar with the property, that grade naturally kind of slopes towards the highway, and that is why you're getting some of that runoff. The site would have on-site storm sewer that would be directed to detention, and as stated earlier, would be restricted at an allowable release rate. So I know it's hard to believe because we're putting a development here with pavement, but the idea of how that drain commissioner's ordinance is structured is that we would be slowing down the current runoff of the property by holding it in a detention basin.
Any other questions of staff, or of the applicant? Sure.
So with regard to the driveways, I mean, where the existing proposed property line is, you're not gonna have room to get those driveways in outside the taper or the roadway. So is the current thinking perhaps to move this whole thing slightly north to get those driveways so the driveways still enter off the road in that way? Or are you thinking looping in, or I'm trying to picture how you're gonna do
It is kind of an ongoing discussion, but that's correct. As Brandy kind of read in that when we submitted the site plan, we knew this was somewhat of a back and forth with MDOT. And we're kind of to that point where we do think it's going to shift to the north slightly to get those driveways out of that limited access. As you've seen, the reason for the design is we just want to provide complete circulation through the site with those two driveways. So we just want to make sure we satisfy MDOT. But you're correct. We were just going to slide up slightly to get those driveways out and just kind of maintain that circulation.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Got it. Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in support of the application?
My name is Donald Clace. I live at 3565 East 5 Point in Charlotte. I've lived within 3 miles of this proposed site for 48 years. And I've traveled up and down I-69, and there is a definite need for some place for trucks to get fuel since Don's Truck Stop closed in Delta Township. There's no place for trucks to get fuel until they get into the next county. Over there, Love's Truck Stop, Jay's, the Flying J Truck Stop, or going the other way, it's down in Calhoun County. There's no place for trucks to get fuel, other than coming into Charlotte, and the trucks that are going up and down the expressway, they don't know about that, you know, because they don't see it. They don't, you know, they're not local people. And this would be a high visibility area for trucks. And I drove truck I retired, I just recently retired as a truck driver. And being able to get fuel is a big deal. And having a place where you can park safely and get food is a big deal. And there is definitely a need, and that is the ideal spot for it. So that's all I have to say for it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak in favor of the application? Okay, next we'll go into opposition to the application, and I will be timing him at 3 minutes. And I will try to give you like a 20-second notice, so I'm not stopping you right at the end if anybody's gonna be talking longer.
Susan Potter, 1076 West Broadway in Charlotte. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you who actually speak into your microphone so that we can hear you clearly. That is a great blessing, so thank you. I was at the Carmel Township Board meeting last week, and several of us that were in the audience were shocked when the board decided that they were going to vote to approve the proposal. They said, well, you guys didn't, you didn't say anything. Goodness, we'd been saying things for probably half an hour to 45 minutes, and they just completely disregarded us. So I'm not happy with the board for that decision. Also, I'm really concerned if, I've been traveling Cochrane quite a bit the last few days. We just have a new grandbaby, and she's north of town, we're south of town. Cochrane is in horrible shape. And we're asking more semis to come through town so they can get to the truck stop. And I know they're saying that a lot of the people are just going to be on, off the ramp and not come through town. But I've heard so many people complaining already about the semi-traffic that we have coming down through downtown and just going all that way. And another thing I'd like to mention is the other buildings that are on the section of town, or of the highway that is south of town. There are several churches, there are schools, and there's a daycare. And having a lot more semi-traffic is going to make things more difficult for people getting on and off of Cochrane from those establishments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in opposition?
Yep. Danny Baum, live at 5950 Marshall Road. My biggest concern is all the traffic going past there, north and south. If we're coming north, we're gonna have to wait for somebody to turn left. If we're coming home, people turn in front of you. 800 cars a day, that's 30 an hour, 66 coming and going. So that's a lot of traffic to everybody just coming into town, but that's an MDOT issue, so just want to let it out.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to the application? Come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. I'm Rick Dykstra. I live at 2980 South Cochrane, about 3 properties north of this. And, in Carmel Township, we're mostly agricultural and residential, and it's pretty peaceful and quiet. And I listen to the semi-truck Jake brakes pretty much all the time coming up to the freeway ramp there. And my concern would just be the increase in semi-traffic right in front of my house and right along there, and the added noise of those day and night. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition?
Yes, my name is Thomas Jones. I live at 3155 South Cochrane, right across the road from where this proposal is. I am the only house in that section. My question is, I guess I haven't been really confirmed on what the infrastructure of this building is going to be as far as electrical. Is it going to be natural gas, LP, fuel oil? I mean, how are they going to power this proposal up? I guess is what I'm looking at. Because if we're gonna go natural gas, that means everybody on South Cochrane is gonna eventually have to pay taxes to have that natural gas ran out to our house. Because it's gonna go all the way from, I believe, Calamo Road, I think is the end of the natural gas line. And there is none beyond that, all the way to the highway. Because we're all on our own personal wells, our own personal septic. And I have propane, and so I'm just kind of wondering, is this place are they eventually gonna say, well, okay, now we gotta run the sewer out there? Do we have to run electricity out there? I lose power 2 or 3 times a year already. So I don't know where the power, how they're gonna do this power structure thing. And so I guess my concern is it gonna cost every one of us down Cochran Road to have this development put in there? I'm not really against it, as far as being against it. The only thing I like to say, because I am only gonna be approximately probably about 150 yards from your driveway. So I mean, it's right in my front yard. And I'm not real happy about that, but yet I don't concern. My only proposal is this, how would you like to make me a proposal and get me the hell out of there, because I don't want to have to live with it. And you can buy me out and have my place and put a Cracker Barrel there for all I give a damn, but I mean, I'm just saying, I think, to think that they're gonna run this on LP gas, I can't believe it. And they're not gonna burn firewood to power this place up. And I can't believe that a septic tank and a drain field is gonna take care of the proposal that they're kind of trying to propose with, what? Parking spaces for how many trucks? 15 trucks, 17 trucks? And normally when you have a truck stop, you have showers, you have urinals, you have places and people is doing a lot of things. So I think that, I think we're missing a lot of the infrastructure that's gonna go on within this to be able to, get it into an operating type of a business out there. Because we're not all set, we're out in the country. I mean, this is what we like, that's why we were out there, I've been there since 1991 personally. And my dad bought the place back in 1973, and from the Potter family. And, it's been, quiet, and I'm the only house there, and that's why I'm there, because I'm not a neighborly person, and I don't want neighbors. And I really don't want all this noise and stuff going around with the trucks. Now, my dad, I don't know if any of you knew my dad, but we had 5 trucks and trailers there. We were in the trucking business. And so I do know the noise that is generated by semi-trucks. And like the lady said, the Cochran Road, and most of that traffic is gonna come off on I-69. It's not gonna come up and down Cochran Road. We've got so much truck traffic down there. I hear Jake brakes going off at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, because we have a lot of guys that are truck drivers, but they're not truck operators.
We've already hit our 3 minutes. I wasn't paying.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, but anyway, that was my main concern is what is the total infrastructure of this place gonna be before it's over with? Is it gonna cost all of us up and down South Cochran Road in order for them to have their truck stop and restaurant?
Thank you. Might ask
Thank you.
after the meeting.
Pardon me?
Probably could ask them after the meeting. Anyone else like to speak in opposition to the application?
Hi, my name is Sean Dean. I live at 565 West 5 Point Highway. The only real concerns that I would have is just to reiterate what a lot of these other people have said, is the wear and tear to the road. 5 Point's in the process of being redone right now, and I would hate to see that all for waste. And possibly a traffic light for all the additional traffic. That's really all I had.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak in opposition? Okay, thank you. Does the applicant would the applicant like to rebut anything that has been said?
Sure. First item, as far as traffic, like you all know, this is an MDOT road. We're gonna follow the MDOT standard. We do have to, as Brandy stated, submit a traffic impact assessment. That will come back with traffic volumes, data of anticipated left turns, right turns, and what might be required. So basically what MDOT says goes. So if there's extra conditions that we have to do, that's something that we will obviously satisfy as part of getting that permit. As far as utilities, that was a big conversation as part of this property. There is no infrastructure for this area aside from doing septic, well, and propane type fuel, because the issue is to the north in order to extend that gas south would be a cost that would be incurred by the developer, and it's millions of dollars. And so it's just not a feasible option. If there was a practicality where there was multiple businesses going in at one time that could split that cost, that might be something that could happen. And I don't know if it was kind of explained or made known, but there is a 100-acre property, but we are only proposing to purchase a small chunk of that property. So there could be opportunity in the future for other business. And I'm sure if there's a collaboration at that time to extend that natural gas, I would think that's more of a benefit for the community and the local neighbors to have the option to hook up to that. But that would be a cost that would be incurred by the actual developers of the business district there. So I don't know if there was anything else and if the commission has any additional questions.
I think not. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this point in time, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Sure, Scott.
Yes, I guess I have a lot of concerns environmentally concerning the property because it is like 20 to 25 foot of clay ground. Crandall's had looked at it several years ago and did some test things in the area. It said they had to go down about that amount of below the ground to get into any gravel or anything. So they dismissed it as not practical for them for a gravel pit or something. Roads are a big concern. It can be quite heavily traffic, quite a bit of traffic on the road, especially with the daycare center and a couple businesses along the way, hospice and another business near the location too, as far as turning in and out if there's a lot of truck traffic, and there's a lot of truck traffic in Charlotte. The residents are trying to take and change that, but because it's a MDOT road, it's going to be hard for them to do that. So a lot of truck traffic is coming through Charlotte and going south to pick up I-69. The water and everything, as far as drainage, I'm quite concerned with that. As far as runoff, even though it may be going into another withholding tank, I'm not sure what the assurances really are for that, especially if we get a heavy rain or something for several days and the ground, because it cannot take in that surface water, runs off and ends up down by my property. And so I have a concern not only for the other residents of the area, but myself. As I mentioned, for lighting and stuff, I still think that's still going to be a problem. You're going to see it fairly easy coming down the road. And noise is a big problem too. Mentioned Jake brakes and everything. And when I was talking to the one resident the other day, semis were coming down through there, and as soon as they got in front of his property, they were slowing down and the Jake brakes were kicking in and were quite noisy. And I wouldn't want to live right there either with that noise. And I feel that, truckers have gotten by so far without having to make a stop between this, say, 94 and 96 locations where a truck stops, where there is some, that they plan ahead for those fuel stops and don't necessarily need to stop there. I mean, I used to have a semi myself for our farm, and I carried enough fuel that I could go 400 or 500 miles at a time without refueling, and would be able to go down to Toledo, Ohio to deliver grain and come back and not have to stop and get fuel. I think the other thing that hasn't been mentioned is I feel it will be a loss of revenue for a lot of the businesses in Charlotte. The cars that do get off at exit 57 come into town to get fuel at Shell or some of the other stations will be hurt quite a bit as far as any profits and stuff that they might have. I know someone has mentioned too online, on social media, that that it would be good for competition, but most of the time, gas prices are usually pretty close. We don't see gas wars like we did back in the late 60s and 70s. And so I don't think, because of the profit margins nowadays too, isn't that great. So you don't see too much of a fluctuation. If you look in Charlotte, it might be 1 or 2 cents difference between one station to another, and a lot of that is probably because the fuel is a lower quality too, so they price it lower. But I think there's a lot of serious problems that, with the proposal, and I will be voting no on it.
A lot of those things you said could be true, but we're looking at the land use issues and how this meets it. You know, a lot of the stuff you mentioned, fortunate or unfortunate, are not our purview.
Mr. Chair, may I offer clarification for the traffic study for the public? MDOT's required traffic study. So prior to MDOT issuing any kind of commercial driveway permit, especially for new developments, they do require a traffic study to be done by a third-party company. That, once that traffic study is done, they then submit it to MDOT. MDOT doesn't always approve that traffic study. A previous application that our planning commission heard recently is the Quarry. The Quarry submitted a traffic study and MDOT did not accept that traffic study. They're requiring an additional traffic study. They're specifying the time of the year in which that traffic study has to be done. And in addition to that traffic study, they're requiring tapers and a turn lane to be put in. With Cochran Road and I-69 being an MDOT right-of-way, MDOT will not issue permits until they are compliant with their requirements. So if MDOT requires a turn lane to be put in, that will have to be done prior to construction of the building. If MDOT requires tapers to be put in, that will have to be done prior to construction of the building. MDOT does not give leeway ever. Just wanted to offer some clarity on what that traffic study means and what that means for their driveway permits.
Any other discussion?
Just a comment, and that is that regarding the traffic in Cochran, you know, my wife and I drive that quite a little bit. And it's true that Cochran gets a lot of truck traffic. I think a lot of it comes from the other Michigan highways that happen to come into town. So I really don't think that this truck stop or this facility would increase that Cochran traffic, and it may decrease it a little bit because people come off the highway into the station and then leave, get right back on the highway. So I think that it might help, and it certainly will not hurt Cochran.
My thoughts on this, I mean, there's sort of two things at play, right? There's the current zoning of the parcel, which this is, you know, works with, but there's also the future use. And you know, I know we've had a pretty robust conversation about this area, right? We even had a request to rezone some of this area, and had a conversation with members of the public who came in concerned about that it shouldn't be light industrial, it should remain commercial, that it had been zoned commercial for a very long time, and that was the planned use that the community was in favor of, in support of. And that's sort of, you know, I think where we get our marching orders is from that whole process where we take that input and we hear what the community, you know, has planned for these parcels. So I think it was even mentioned in one of those pieces that it could be, you know, one of these adjacent interchange pieces could be a truck stop. I think that was even brought up. And so here we are. But, our authority doesn't come from, what we feel like should be there. Our authority is to review the zoning ordinance and to make approvals based on that, so.
I was thinking along the same lines as what Ben just said. It's been zoned commercial for a long time. If a gas station and drive-through restaurant doesn't go in there, something else will. It's commercial, zoned commercial. I guess one thing is as good as another, commercially speaking. If you're gonna get traffic from a gas station drive-through, you're gonna get traffic from any other kind of store, retail or anything else. It fits the use of this piece of property. It was zoned commercial a long time ago, specifically because it's at an exit off the freeway. I guess while there's, I'm sure, tons of arguments from personal perspectives about not in my backyard, it's been this way for a long time, and I guess going to the township to try and get it rezoned would be the only other way around it. So you, I guess, live with it. It's a commercial area, potentially.
If I could, they both said what I was gonna say, probably more eloquently than I would have. It's, since 1986, this is the 40th year that this has been zoned this way, and no one's taken advantage of it. Now's the time. I appreciate both what you said.
Yes, Scott?
Yes, it's been over 40 years, and there have been several attempts to try to do it, but infrastructure was usually the holding, the point, because there was no infrastructure there, and the city of Charlotte refused to annex it or do anything to come out there. So it has been proposed on numerous occasions and has failed because primarily of that reasoning.
Anyone else? Entertain a motion if someone would like.
I move to support CU 6-26-4.
Approval?
I make motion to approve CU -6-26-4.
Support.
We have a motion to support. Any further discussion?
Clarifying question, in the motion, do we need to give leeway for the potential property line adjustment to comply with the driveway request? Because as it stands, we would be approving this property for a conditional use permit, which may or may not be the property.
Correct. The planning commission could approve the site plan as long as the divided property for the use complies with the zoning authority at the time the division is made, and that the business remains on the property that is zoned general business. In addition, because of the concerns, typically all approvals come with the requirement that they comply with all of the site plan review comments. But I think for the public, spelling out that they are compliant with MDOT's requirements specifically might ease the mind of the public.
I would offer that as a friendly amendment then to the motion on the floor.
Support that.
Support.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
No.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Lisa Lowitsky,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
So I know you're working with MDOT on your new site plan. When you have that done, let me know if it's before June 30th, and then we can work on the land division piece to get your property divided off from that 100-acre farm so you can move forward smoothly.
Okay. Moving into reports, before we move into those, I just wanted to let everyone know that I got a call from Chris Garrison, who is the person in charge of us now, wanting us to thank everybody that has participated in the planning commission and our wonderful staff over the years for taking care of everything. So, you know, Chris couldn't be here, but he wanted to make sure everybody knew that his regard for us were held high, and he appreciated all our work and staff's. That was reiterated a couple times. All right, PA 116 applications.
We do not have any. Back in March, the Planning Commission approved a removal of 5 acres from PA 116, and after going back and forth with MDARD, they finally accepted our approval to remove the 5 acres. It's a little tougher. Their requirements are specifically for 2 acres unless there are other qualifying things on the property. So that was for Mr. McManus's farm. The approval was just granted today.
Okay, any other business?
No, sir.
Reports?
Eaton Township took over their own planning and zoning authority at the end of May. I did receive the interim ordinance from the Eaton Area Joint Planning Commission and their zoning map today for review. I have 15 days to review it. There is one final site plan review committee meeting that will take place on June 23rd for Wolverine Power, which is in Eaton Rapids Township. I've been working with the supervisor. He's aware that it's coming up. Wolverine Power has an existing substation there. They are looking to update their existing substation, no different than what Consumers is doing all around the county right now. So
No department, zoning ordinance committee, no Board of Appeals. Any public comments at this point in time? Okay.
I have a public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Southern, I live at 2655 East Clinton Trail. In the beginning of the meeting, I heard something about the Crandall Park. I thought it was supposed to be here tonight, and I just kind of, where's that stand at? I live right up next to that, and this is the first time I heard that they were doing more stuff about it again, so.
Because Eaton Township took over their own planning and zoning authority at the end of May, it is no longer our authority to hear that application. So that application has been removed from the agenda.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to go on record to thank each and every single one of our planning commission members. The task that you have done for the many years that you have done it has not been an easy one. Hearing neighbors and hearing applicants and following our land use policies in Eaton County is not easy. It has been a burden on you. You are all appreciated. I know several of you have joined your local township boards as far as planning and zoning goes, so I genuinely thank you for that. The Eaton County Board of Commissioners will be reading your resolutions of recognition into record at their meeting, which is the third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. For anybody that'd like to attend with their families, it will be read into record, and you're more than welcome to come.
Okay, no upcoming cases, so I'd entertain a motion.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.